Good afternoon, everybody. We will start in a minute with the session. And now I'm hearing myself again. And the first news items we bring along is IKEA. IKEA Tree has announced that they're creating a training ecosystem to support a AI literacy for their 3,500 employees. So they're now not only implementing AI features for our customers, but this program is actually about enabling a training program for their internal staff. And that training program is going to be adjusted to the level and the knowledge of their staff, and based on the specific functions that requires. This is not the only example of companies integrating AI, not only in customer-facing activities, but also in their internal organization. Another example is Moderna. Moderna is the organization that, the pharmaceutical company that developed the corona or the COVID-19 vaccine. And actually, they've made a huge deal, and you can find the details about that on the OpenAI side. They have announced that they will use OpenAI as a AI-based tool to improve and accelerate their internal processes. So this is a full integration of AI. In order to enhance their game to develop functionalities and develop products more faster and structure their internal processes different from as they used to do. So they use AI to actually reinvent all their internal processes and all their internal developments. So these are just two brief examples of how companies are using AI to really enhance their processes. And it's all about AI and all about what we're going to talk about today, how we are using and how the companies we have in this session today are using AI to enhance their processes and to really take advantage of these huge developments that are currently going on. This will be the moment that we do the official start of the session, and where we have Ruth and Raja present. This session today is going to be co-hosted by me and Kanya, and I would like to introduce Kanya. Maybe you can introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm with Intershop and I lead the sales and marketing team here in Asia Pacific. It's about 11 p.m. here, and it's my first time officially hosting the B2B Frontrunner session, and I'm really excited to be part of the program.
Yes, well, very, very welcome, Kanya. And we're going to start with, well, maybe you can take us through the agenda.
Yeah, of course. So welcome everyone to the 8th session of the B2B Frontrunners. We're glad to have you with us today. Before we dive right in, I want to give you an overview of what you can expect from today's session. As always, this 90-minute session is filled with real-world examples and hopefully things that you can take away and adapt for your own projects. Today, Arjun and I are joined by 3 e-commerce experts, Jill, hi, from Raja, Michael from Worth, and our very own solution engineer, JD from the US. Right, next please.
Okay.
Yep.
That's nice. Maybe you can also start with the introduction, what we're going to do with the Frontrunners program this year or the next 5 sessions.
Yeah, so sorry, Arjun, I'm just gonna take over. So session number 8 is quite special. It's the first in a series following the steps in an AI roadmap in a new session format. Each session has a clear theme with corresponding strategic dimension. And our goal is by the end of, yes, we will be sharing the slides after. Our goal is by the end of session 12, we hope you have enough ideas, inspiration, know-how to improve or start an AI project for your organization. With that being the objective, the content for each session is not limited to the 90-minute session that we'll spend together. We'll also provide a post-session action paper that will explore each topic further. This way, by the end of all 5 sessions, you'll have the necessary resources to implement what you've learned today and in all sessions. Yeah. So it's like a complete booklet to your very own AI roadmap. Aryan, I believe prior to this session, we've asked our attendees to partake in a short survey.
We had this survey sent out, and we particularly encourage all of you to, well, still fill it out if you haven't done so, because the results will be updated later on. Had some simple questions. First of all, we asked what the key areas are for commercial performance improvement you're currently focusing on. And obviously that's about conversion. And if we look at conversion in B2B, that's not only the initial conversion, but also keeping customer engaged and improve that conversion every time they return. So it's not only conversion for the first-time customers, but also for returning and for loyal customers. And that's very much something that can be enhanced by AI, and that will be touched upon by both Raja and Worth. The other one that ends in the top 3 is traffic generation. And of course, the other one that is very much enhanced by AI is personalized content and experiences. And we'll talk a lot about it. If we look at the number of companies that's already using AI in these fields of increasing conversion and transaction value, that is a fairly decent percentage of 58%. And if we then better zoom in on the ones that answered no, then it is currently not a priority. And our ambition for today is to change that perspective of not a priority yet, because what we will show today is how important and massive, but also how accessible these developments are. Kanya, do you kind of recognize this level of AI participation among Intershop clients?
I am actually surprised that the number is 58, because just speaking to different people, there are still a lot of skepticism about implementing AI within the organization at a scale. So to see the number being 58 is quite refreshing. What do you think?
Yes. Okay. It varies around industries, is my experience, but this 58% is a great number already, and maybe it's also because we're reaching the front runners, so that's maybe affecting that. If we then zoom in on what the ones that are using AI already, what the focus points are and what they're using for. Well, it is of course enhancing the customer experience, it's create efficiency, it's innovative business models, and it's about analyzing performance data. And actually these ones are well, the key elements that we currently see, and where the big benefits in applying AI actually are. What is your take on that, Kanya?
I think the session we'll cover today will cover all 4 topics. And even though you're doing one or the other, learning how others are doing the same thing can actually inspire new ideas as well. That's it. So I hope what Worth and Raja will share today will be, and JD will be quite informative.
Yeah, and the other encouraging part of it, and that's also why it's, I guess, valuable to have this session today and the upcoming sessions, is that all the ones that are applying AI in their processes and in innovation and improvement projects, is that, well, actually there's a very high rate of satisfaction already. Over 71% happy with the effects of what they're seeing is rather high for technology that is so new. Yet, if you look at the average score of their satisfaction, that's a 7.5. And I guess that we also today will hear that being active and doing things shows you that the solutions, how astonishing and maybe sometimes incredibly advanced they are, still have room for improvement, and it is hard work to make it work properly. And therefore these sessions to share that experience are very helpful, we hope. And if you then look at the expectations, does this match your gut feeling about what's going on in the market, Kanya?
Yeah, pretty much. The second result surprised me a little bit, that in the B2B market in general, there seems to be like a split, people that, I think, because this is an average number after all. So yeah, I'm surprised to see that split, that in some industry, and I'm curious to know which one exactly are, feel that AI won't be relevant in 5 years.
Yes. Now this is promising. Please, and we made it easy. If you scan the QR code, you can still fill out the survey, and we get better results if we get more responses. So please feel free to start with that. This is the point where I will talk a little bit deeper on what we're going to do with front runners, but also introduce the theme of this session. And this visual actually shows what AI and B2B are about, and how advanced B2B commerce is actually relying on that typical AI function of connecting all various applications and structuring the processes. So that's where you see that Intershop also adopted this AI enabling function of B2B commerce, and that's what we were talking about in the front runners, especially, because what we see happening, and if you look at the yellow dot in this visual, that is about the individual age, and actually technology has put us there in a very high pace, and AI and ChatGPT are changing the way we can interact with customers, but customers will expect it. The adoption at a customer level is so high, and in B2C, the adoption of well, enhanced experiences and personalized experiences is so high. And actually, why is AI enabling that? That's what we're going to talk about, and we're going to demystify it. AI is not that huge and humongous process. It is also already possible to use a lot of options, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Just by adopting existing technologies that are in the market and existing tools that are in the market. It is going to be about practical inspiration and to spark action, to start acting and try and see how things work if you start using AI. But also about what are the strategic insights and what kind of tools can you enable it with. And if we look at the journey and creating personalized journeys, a journey is not the same for everybody. It contains the same 6 steps, but they're different if you're an initial, a returning, or a loyal customer. And if you look at what AI does, AI enables it to apply business rules to every interaction in that process to enhance that personalization. And that personalization is personalization of functionalities. And today, you already can use AI to, well, enhance functionalities. And Raja is a nice case of how you can create and translate content and use that to increase the amount of content you can show on your website and in your processes. Ruth is going to tell about how they are using AI to create product bundles, but also in a more advanced way to create very specific product offerings for individual users. And actually, all those examples here are things you can already do without having to transform your entire technology stack or framework. These are all functionalities that are in the market, sometimes even the simple ChatGPT to, well, optimize your SEO, which is a very simple and very hands-on use case. You can also use AI for market research. Instead of just looking once at your competitors, you can actually start monitoring by a daily prompt on looking on what's going on a website or what is changing. You can subscribe to the newsletter and make interpretations of what they are talking about and when they are talking about it and what the price points they are doing. You can aggregate market research in a level that hasn't been possible before. And also, if you look at the analysis of your own data, AI brings enormous possibilities. In this case, this is a visualization of a Sankey diagram. This is actually the drop-off of your initial customers and your returning customers. But structuring your data and visualizing your data like this enables you also to zoom in on increasingly specific user groups. And what it enables you is to address where actually customers are dropping off and what actions you could take to improve that. And using all the AI-enabled technologies like the market research, like the journey analysis, like the data analysis, enables you to define smart projects. Projects that you can merge with your existing backlog. And if you use a standardized ways to create project descriptions and include the right elements, you get a very factual insight, and you can do it in ways like this, that you look at, well, what is actually the benefit of the user experience by enhancing this this activity, and this is the combination of human insight and structured application of AI. And the same goes for, well, what is the operational impact? And then you suddenly get a multi-dimensional diagram, especially if you also add ways to calculate the financial value of projects and combine that with the impact and the cost of ownership it has. And now you have 4 dimensions to qualify AI projects, and you can design a roadmap with the integration of what you're already doing in your current backlog. The other thing with all the AI projects, because they contain so much different aspects, is to develop them holistically, to involve all relevant departments in designing projects and project definitions that activates the knowledge in your organization and taps into the ingenuity that is in your people, because AI is not a magic tool, it is what you put into it. And by using the expertise of your organization, you also create a commitment to innovation and to changing ways of work, because that's what the most important aspect of the operational impact of AI is. It touches upon all departments in your organization, because for every AI initiative, if you start using data, you must have the ability to identify that and to connect it to an individual user, but also have the permission of people to use that data to create more advanced interactions. You need more content for those interactions, and you need to determine what actually is the reason, what the question behind the question or the interaction of the customer, but also what your objectives are with a customer at that point. That means that you have to organize that differently. If you can differentiate every aspect of the interaction, what has priority at what point, and who's the boss of structuring those interactions, and how do you organize that? And of course, IT and data intelligence are the important part to enable all of that, but it also has impact on your business model. If what Raja is going to explain later on, you can generate content 5 times faster as before, what does that do to your proposition in terms of the number of products you are going to carry and the extent of your assortments? And it is also, if data is so important, then it's also important to always take into account with whom you're going to share that data and how you're going to use that data, and how you generate that data yourself as a platform or in cooperation with other platforms, because suddenly data becomes a very important asset. IT is driving all this, the developments around AI, and they're going in an incredible pace. We are monitoring all the developments in that field, and it's hard to keep track of the enormous speed of the developments. But practical experiments, as we show today, help you to, well, determine the value and make that value visible in the organization, but also helps you to show how that impacts your business model and how that impacts your way of working. If you can create 5 times as fast content, well, what does that do to your organization? What does that do to the people who are doing it? And well, how are you going to manage that and turn that into very effective processes? Doing experiments also gives you a clear understanding of your future technology needs. Without doing experiments, you can have assumption of what you need in the future, but doing experiments validates that. And that contributes to actually defining your long-term business ambitions. And what we're going to talk about today, because this is the topic for the next session, what we're going to do today, talk about today is about, well, what do you do in the experiments? What do you learn, and how does that work, and how can that contribute to a long-term vision or where that's heading? And that's also what both Ruth and Raja will talk about today, and JD from a technology perspective will also emphasize for that matter. So this is the introduction to the real speakers. This is just the context, and I wish you very much pleasure with Raja, Ruth, and JD further on.
Next up is our roundtable discussion. Therefore, we would like to welcome our first guest speaker, Jill Schroes, e-commerce manager at Raja. Raja Group, Europe's leading distributor of office supplies and packaging, serves over 2 million customers across 19 countries with a wide product range. Generating revenues of 1.7 billion in 2022, this powerhouse has shown remarkable growth. Founded in 1954, this independent French group is renowned for its quality products, fast service, and strong customer relationships. Welcome, Jill Schroes.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. So I can already skip the first slide because it was already mentioned. So we are a part of a bigger group, a European group, and I would like to briefly introduce our company just to make the case we want to bring a bit more clear. Within the 26 companies that are in the group, they fall under multiple brands. Some of them are known throughout Europe and others are more known in the south of Europe. For Raja Benelux specifically, we primarily focus on packaging and warehouse supplies. For the Benelux, we work from 2 sites, Breda and Tongeren. And we serve around 50,000 active customers. And of course, we are still in full expansion. We operate 1 central warehouse serving 6 countries from Tongeren, which is where I am right now as well. How is our e-commerce organized? So every country or every company has its own web shop, but we do have centralized services. And that's being part of a group has the advantage of being able to share product assortments as well as common tools from product management to marketing and web shop tools. Locally, we have the assignment to localize that assortment and enlarge it locally if necessary. We do local marketing activities and we run our own web shops. Just to give you an idea, we have a vast amount of product information and content, and that needs to be processed locally. So then AI came in the picture, and it gives us several exciting opportunities. For over a year now, I don't know exactly. We have been testing various content solutions at both group level and local level, and we enthusiastically began with bulk translations. So that was one of our first tests, and we still run tests on it, by the way. I can reveal that initially it was below par, so it didn't give us what we required. To make it work, we had to describe too much in a prompt to cover everything. So currently we have reached a compromise with AI, and we now use relatively simple prompts for bulk, and then we fine-tune per product or category text, or it depends a bit, but then we fine-tune it again with an AI prompt. So this approach already resulted in significant time savings, and perhaps I might add also increased the job satisfaction of the copywriters working on it. We currently observe that the quality and the capabilities are not the same for every language. So we are confident that this will improve quickly. But another challenge we have is the re-inputting of the bulk into our systems. And again, we hope to see some significant improvements on that in the near future as well. So, but the key takeaway here is that we already have a fantastic progression in time savings. Here, an example of, it's only 4 lines of text that we took from a bulk translation that we did at first. And you see in blue what was not yet satisfactory. So you'll see HTML text that is incorrect, or wrong translations, or an incorrect word order, missing capital letters at the beginning of a sentence. Even when we specifically added in the prompt, do not forget to add a capital letter at every beginning of a sentence. So even with that in the prompt, it might not give that to you. Now, what we do is we run the simple prompt, and then, like I said, we rerun it for smaller portions of texts with further instructions regarding keywords specifically for that text, etc. Another example, this is a prompt that was written specifically for a category text on our website, a category regarding a specific certain kind of bag. I'm sorry, it's in Dutch, but the prompt is in Dutch. I'll explain and get you through it. So a prompt can be quite lengthy. This is only a part, and the advantage is this part, for instance, is specifically explaining AI what kind of company we are, what kind of tone of voice we expect, and that can be reused, of course, for other text that we would like to start from scratch or optimize. Another piece of this prompt, where it specifically is talking about which keywords to use, how many times a keyword should show up, and more detailed instructions on the backlinks that were already in the original text. Also at the bottom here, it's just a part, I didn't copy everything, but it gives you an idea. You have instructions on start a text with, so we really ask a certain structure that needs to be followed so that all our category texts are made in the same way. Just to give you an idea. A final example where we were very pleased with the creativity shown by AI is writing text for SEO on similar products. As a company that has over 1,200 sizes of boxes, and well, how much can you tell about a cardboard box? So if you have to write different text about it, here is a screenshot from our website where we have all our postal boxes, well, from one particular type. So this is one type of postal box with more than 50 dimensions or different sizes. We have an offer page where we group all the different sizes. This page already contains a short description and a long description for our customers. Then we also have per size, again, a specific page for the products with a short and long description. So you can imagine the task to write different texts, which Google finds attractive. So if you want them all to be indexed by Google, they have to be different enough. Our first test that we did was not good enough for Google indexing. It still said it was too similar. So we keep on retrying. And the thing is that we are quite happy doing this. We're tweaking the prompt, we are retrying, and it goes really fast. So what should yeah, it's still really time saving because you don't have to wait for translations from a bureau. You simply translate, rework, put it back on the side, wait for the indexing and see the result and retweak if necessary. So tremendously time saving. And then I'm already at my conclusion. So we currently will estimate that today's time saving amounts to approximately 5 times as much output as without AI assistance. So the efficiency gain is enormous. Also, like I said, creativity and inspiration that emerges is often very surprising. And well, we basically cannot do without it anymore. That's the main takeaway for us. Let's say that we do have confidence that upcoming AI optimizations and further integration of AI into tools we use and making re-importing no longer necessary or more simple will follow fast. So we are quite convinced that we'll see in a very short time period already some new things happening that will help us even improve what we do today and increase our content output even more. So that's basically, or that concludes my small presentation. I just only, as a final thing, want to have a special thanks to ChatGPT for helping me write this presentation.
Thank you very much, Jill. Yeah, we see a lot of applause. Kanya, what is your take on,
yes.
On this?
I do have some questions. It's a very interesting, your story. I saw your presentation before, but not you actually telling the story. How many, and also we have a question from the group, so maybe I'll start with the question first. The question was, and there's also a poll, so if you can open the chat section and respond to the poll for Jill's content, we'll really appreciate that as well. So Jill, there's a question that asks if you start from English to write the prompt, or did you use Dutch from the get-go?
I think locally we have been trying both, and we now use also, like you saw, the Dutch prompting from the group. It's usually English or French. So it has been a mix, and like I said, Dutch is not yet as developed in options as other languages are. So, so it could be indeed a good idea to try both and then compare.
Yes. In our prep talks, Jill, prior to the session, you described your learning curve with ChatGPT. Can you explain where you started, and if you look back on how you started, how that has changed, and also how that has changed the size and the volume, or the construction of your the prompts you are giving to ChatGPT?
Well, it is indeed a learning curve where you need to find out, if you start from scratch, that shit in is shit out, if I may say so. So sorry for my language, but that's basically the truth. So you get what you ask for. If you're not specific enough, and then you might not end up with a satisfying result. And also, well, new versions come out very fast, and I just heard today that my colleagues, Christophe, who is also following this session, and his colleague Arne here, they are testing now with the custom GPT version to already work out better what kind of structure we like, and to incorporate that in GPT itself. So the learning curve is steep because you need to be flexible in learning what the new options are and how can I use them. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
That answered the question, and it's actually what we see at a lot of companies. Once you start learning and start seeing. You told me that you do a first ChatGPT translation, and then have ChatGPT help you to improve that in a next equation. And the interesting thing I find is that ChatGPT can also, if you provide it with what you want to reach, that it can help you how to get there. And those are all learnings that, if you not start using it, you don't have. In terms of organization, how would you describe what is the human input, and how does what can AI do itself? How does that work together?
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
Well, if you look at how you work with ChatGPT, you actually have to provide it with the right input. How do you aggregate that knowledge from your organization and help to give the right briefings to ChatGPT? So how are you and your organization working with a tool like ChatGPT?
Well, there is also learning sharing within the group, and prompt sharing, for instance, in our SEO community in the group. so there's learning from there. But maybe you meant where I said that you can already prepare an interview, for instance, in content, which you plan to do with a customer for experience sharing in a video, and that AI already brings you a made-up story with questions and answers, where you can learn from to inspire yourself for the actual interview, etc.
Yeah. Yes, these are all learnings. We'll take a brief look to the poll, and that's also a encouragement to all of the audience. Please fill out the poll because that's interesting. Also, if you have other questions, and we saw some coming by, actually, there's one we can tap in, and please keep coming with your remarks and your questions. How did you incorporate this in your Intershop platform or you're working with Intershop, Jill?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. This is something at group level, and which is not to be shared yet. Sorry.
So the interesting aspect is that you use this and put it somewhere in the system, and it works without any further big IT integrations or connections with
No, at the moment, no.
Yeah, and JD will touch upon that in his talk later on. What I find interesting is that you can start doing very advanced things just as a kind of start and without a deep integration. And I reckon that if you look at where you would like to have it, is you would have to like deeper integrations in your system to undouble content and things like that. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. It's basically everywhere from your PIM, where all your product information is going to the web shop, etc. The more it is integrated, the easier it will be to use. Like I said, one of the challenges we now have or face is the re-importing in an efficient way into systems. So when they are incorporated, that will definitely be a plus. And we see that everywhere emerging, and any kind of tool that a lot of companies or softwares are really working on it or have their first versions of something that is available within the tool or in the system.
Yeah, so this is maybe different than in the past, that you already can start using things without doing the integration up front, but start working on it, and it helps to define what you actually would like to see changed in the platform and how you would like to get that to create that integration. Thank you, Jill. Thank you very much for your insights. Kanya, can you maybe, because we've got a very nice video for Michael.
Michael.
So can you introduce him, please?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Jill. Now moving on to our next speaker, Michael from Worth. Michael wanted the group to know that he has 2 mini schnauzers and that he played basketball as a personal fun fact. All right.
Please welcome our second guest speaker, Michael Muller, online marketeer at Worth. The Worth Group, a leader in assembly and fastening materials, has over 87,000 employees worldwide and made 20.4 billion in sales in 2023. Its IT branch, Worth IT, offers broad solutions globally for different trading and service sectors. So please welcome Michael Muller.
So yeah, nice introduction for me. And also in this introduction, already a couple of slides are presented already. So I'm one of the many micromullers from the Vught Group. I will explain later on what I mean with that. Before I talk about our use of AI, I will briefly talk about the history of the Vught Group. And it all started with this screw. In 1945, Adolf Vught founded a wholesale company specialized in selling screws and bolts together with his son Reinhold Vught in a castle mill. And even now, with his age of 89 years, he is still actively involved in the Vught Group. But who are part of the Vught Group? It consists of roughly 400 companies, which make altogether, like what you heard already, 20 billion euro sales. But we still operate as a mid-sized business. The whole Vught Group is located in more than 80 countries with over 85,000, I heard 87,000 employees. So you can imagine there are more than one Michael Mullers working there. Talking about the rough numbers, 54% of our revenue comes from the Vught line and 46% come from our allied companies like Han & Kolb or Reka or other company related to the Vught line core businesses. Our focus is mainly industrial companies and every scale trade. That's just the brief summary of what Vught is. And with regards to e-commerce and eventually AI, the Vught Group has a significant partnership with Intershop for our e-commerce. Through this and other partnerships, Vught is transforming into an omni-channel organization with a network of fully integrated touchpoints, including an online shop, hand scanner, app, smart shelves, vending machines, and Twin Bin. The Intershop platform supports 43 websites across 37 countries, 14 languages, and 8 currencies. Despite the digital transformation, Vught maintains a strong focus on personal customer contact. This partnership has allowed Vught to stay close to its customers, both online and offline, and to adapt to their needs. It's a great example of how traditional businesses can successfully transition into the new digital age. But what about the AI use of Vught? Vught has been actively exploring AI solutions to enhance its operations by integrating different systems with AI. Vutsys is one of many providers of cloud-based AI solutions for businesses. One use case is personalization, the dynamic pricing, and the real-time prediction. These sort of AI solutions have significantly enhanced our company's operations, providing in-depth insights into product and customer behavior, enabling fast data-driven decisions for our business success. It automates personalizations and pricing processes in real time, much faster than any sales rep can do. At our web shop, 29% of the revenue from the product detail page is generated through the product bundles. These bundles are generated through AI by checking in real time different angles or viewpoints like the buy history of the customer, but also from similar customers or potential customers which have brought similar products, or even something that sounds trivial like the weather. This also results into a roughly 5% increase in our related product detail page view. And to talk a little bit more with regards to AI makes the best suggestion in real time by looking through the product data of the different contact points and the product data and orders, but also on the website. These recommendations are then sent to the salesperson through his sales portal, and in our case, that's a Speedy Touch or a tablet, and that allows him to use this information for a direct sale or upselling without having to come up with potential product himself. If it's a success or a failure to upsell, the machine or AI will learn from this. And here's an example on how our recommendation search query works. So we have two users, user A and user B. For the same search term and context, our internal online store search engine finds the same product for both users. However, we rearrange the results list using the recommendation engine based on the behavior patterns of each user. Let's take the carpet knife as an example. For user A, it appears as an important product in the result list, with a few positions. For user B, it's also in the results list, but a lot lower. This means that user A has shown more interest in the product in the past, and that's not solely based on search results. In essence, we make the content more personalized and individualized for everyone by considering user behavior. We can apply this approach to all our connected sales points. So in short, how we use AI, we try to make it easier for our sales rep, because the main thing where Ruud thrives in is our contact point, the sales rep. So thank you for watching my short presentation. And if you have any questions, you can ask away.
Yeah, I do have one. Thank you so much, Michael. How much, so obviously the personalization and recommendations need quite a bit of data.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how did you start the process of accumulating the data and just identifying what data should be used for recommendation and personalization? Can you talk us through the journey prior to this?
So that's the one of the main reasons why you will always have the people behind AI, because with a lot of data, you will have a lot of options, and only semi-normal thinking human being can connect the real dots. So to sometimes the AI or the recommendation engine shows things because it is sold the most, but that's not what the customer is looking for. And then you have the human interaction always double checking what AI thinks. We have like a history of 60 years of selling our products. So the data is already there. And now it's only like connecting the right dots together. And that is sort of trial and error. And that's how we try to learn from, our, not mistakes, but our developing process.
Yeah, okay. We have questions coming in from the floor. Pierre asked, what other use cases are you looking to cover with AI apart from recommendation?
Oh, we also use it for SEO purposes, indeed. Making the best content.
Okay.
And it can be as small as writing an email. Some of us use Copilot already. We can, like this Teams meeting, do you have to have a transcription? Copilot can do it. Summary of a big meeting. You don't need another person just typing all the words. That are the really tiny uses. And the big uses is optimizing logistic processes and the best roads that a sales representative can drive by in real time.
Okay, so AI is used not only in the online application and sales application, but also it's part of your workflow as well. That's amazing.
Yes, we try it.
Michael,
Yeah,
can you zoom in a little bit on what you said previously, that you need this human human control, but I reckon that as you start moving along and start moving using these AI features to generate those recommendations, that they increasingly get smarter and probably get much smarter than you can be. Is
Yes.
that how is that also your observation, or do you have a different view?
It's like you are. It's like I can describe it as then a rock. AI as a rock, you're shaving it until it's a perfect mold for your company.
Yeah.
That's indeed, in the end, you have an AI that is smarter than, yeah, the average salesperson. But I
Yeah.
find the beginning, it's like the causality between summer and burglaries. In the summer, people are on holidays, so they're less at home. So there are more burglary. But in the summer, also more ice cream sold. So do you make the psychology correlation? We have to, what's the word? Stop selling ice cream, and then there will be less burglars. No, yeah,
No.
that's
Yeah.
an old psychology
Yeah.
causation correlation.
At the same time, AI will be able to handle all those different flows, because in that overview you showed what are the sources and what are the data parameters you use. AI will be able to keep track of all those sources and those parameters, and where as a human this is getting too much. In your example, having burglaries, ice creams, holidays, and cars and airco and electricity use, there will be some correlation that we probably won't discover, but will help increase that 5% click-through on your product detail page, probably.
True.
There's another question from the floor. For Worth, do you only make the recommendation engine available for logged in customers only, or does that apply to anonymous users as well to some extent?
It's all depends which browser you're using, because sometimes we show nothing and just show the average average recommendation.
Okay.
So we have recommendations for anonymous users also.
So what you're saying, Michael, is that you can also use browser information to enhance
Yes.
the recommendations. This is getting interesting. With the new development, Apple announced that they are going to track and use their AI on using what information is on screen and optimizing the process of the user. If you can tap into that, that would also enhance the experience of users. Great. What is the one on your wish list for the next period?
On my wish list with regards to AI, or?
Yeah, in regard to AI.
Good question.
To the audience, we didn't rehearse this one, as you can see.
We're putting him on the spot a little
it's
bit.
still on the, we use the co-pilots in a closed environment, but to have that more accurate, more broad. So the live URL scrolling in my part, or the real-time ads through AI. So that's more my field, the SEO and SEA. So
Yeah.
that would be something would decrease my workload.
Okay. I've just had a quick look at the poll, and it seems like you're ahead of the rest, Michael. So thank you very much for sharing your insights.
Yeah. Do you have
There's
one
more question.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's one more question in the chat from Marco Flapper. From a technology perspective, how is the Intershop platform involved in the translations?
I think that question was for you.
I think it's a personal question. I don't see it.
That was still for me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So,
and I kind of addressed that question in
sorry,
session
I thought it was also for
Jill.
this
So that's
one.
no, that's fine. That's great.
All good. I do have one question or one final closing for Michael. Since you're already ahead of many, do you have any tips or recommendation for anyone who's about to embark on this journey? Journey as in using AI to make recommendations. Yeah.
In the beginning, you have to just do it and monitor it closely, and monitor really closely, because as you see with prompting, one wrong word can make recommendation faulty.
Yes.
So at one fault we made, or one mistake, or I don't know how you call it, but we were showing the recommendation of something that was sold the most. But was it really sold the most, or was one package containing 10,000 units? So when you sell only 3, then it will be high in the recommendation, but that's the difference between units in the package or packaging.
Yeah, and that's also so maybe we invite you for another session further along, because another thing I'm very interested in is in regard to the data and measuring effectiveness, is that if you start changing a lot of variables in your recommendations, it is difficult to pinpoint what exactly worked and how it worked. And I'm very interested in your observations and your experience, but we do that in another session, how you go about that, how you define the KPIs for success and measure success, but because these recommendations will not always lead to a direct instant upsell or a cross-sell or impact, but maybe do in a longer run, and how do you monitor that? So that's a discussion for a future session, as far as I'm concerned. And I hope you will join us again.
Yes,
Michael.
I'll accept the invitation already.
Great.
Thank you, Michael. Next, JD will share his expertise using Intershop as an example to showcase how AI can be used to improve conversion in the infinite B2B buying journey. So JD said he has 2 boys under 2. He's somewhat sleep deprived, so excuse any errors in the session. He used to play basketball, but now being a dad is his #1 priority. So a round of applause for JD.
Thank you, Kanya.
All right.
Please welcome our next speaker, JD Strode. an experienced solution engineer at Intershop with over 12 years of leadership experience. He recently graduated in data science and focused on B2B commerce. Using his strong problem-solving and communication skills, he delivers creative solutions and helps drive technology-driven growth. Welcome, JD.
All right. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm going to take over the screen. And as has been pointed out, I'm a solutions engineer here with Intershop, and we will be continuing our discussion around B2B conversion, specifically how AI is changing the game, and how you can utilize it with Intershop to accelerate your e-commerce initiatives. So, number one, I want to highlight many of you that are here probably likely already know that Intershop is very mature, industry-leading B2B e-commerce solution. It's feature-rich and it's truly built to maximize customer experience. But what you might not be aware of is that we've made significant investments recently in AI to future-proof the platform. And what I want to show to you today is how you can use some of those the same powerful components that we've had that are now all surrounded with that AI core to accelerate your maturity within where you're within your digital customer journey for your customers, and also within your platform itself. So first, I just wanted to take a quick look at the infinite buying journey here and how it contributes to conversion. I think it's important to establish that B2B is not B2C, right? It's very complex. We all know this. There's different personas. Each persona has their own unique needs, and what reduces friction within their particular journey and contributes ultimately to more revenue within your business. Also, everyone's business is likely very different, with different needs and business models, therefore. But what is common among every journey is that we need to ultimately try to reduce friction, build trust, establish a deeper relationship and credibility within it. So what we're going to do is discuss next within the context of a digital maturity model here. So this is a representation of the digital customer experience in maturation stages, each one becoming more advanced over time. Arjun, I think if you want to go ahead and mute your mic there. So as you continue to move up each stage, there's increasingly more automation and more transparency to your customers, and therefore a greater experience, better operational efficiencies, and really more revenue and conversion, which is what we all want to see. So how can you start improving and maybe skip steps, or maybe not make this such a black and white thing? There are absolutely shades of gray within this journey. And so what I hope to showcase today is how you can leverage the core AI components within Intershop to boost and level up your capabilities in e-commerce to get you closer and closer to the initiatives that are important to your business. Specifically, we're going to look at Spark AI and Intershop Copilot, and I'll review those in a second in further detail. We also have the Business Data User Hub, or Data Hub, and the Integration Hub as well, but we will not be covering those as they don't pertain as much to conversion. Next, how can AI help? So according to Gartner, these are the primary use cases where customers and the analysts feel that AI can help boost your business, your e-commerce business. So we see customer segmentation is extremely high. Sorry, these are very small on my screen here. think I would have them memorize. Product categorization and personalization are all very high on the list. So everywhere you see a dot here on this slide, we're actually going to see a use case today. Just briefly touch through them kind of in a teaser fashion, showcasing how Intershop is already integrating these use cases into our existing experience. All right, so a quick overview of those core components, specifically Spark AI and Intershop Copilot. I think with Spark AI, that's a solution that we purchased a few years back to really drive personalization at a user level. It's important to know that one of the differentiators is that it's not a black box solution, and you can leverage the precision and scalability of AI, but also moderate and bend it to the specific context of your business. As we know, everyone's business is different. Some people are doing a lot of repeat purchases and orders, where maybe another business may be focused around spare parts and service scheduling, things of that nature. So it's important to take that context in, and that is where Spark really shines. And then we have Intershop Copilot. This is a generative AI virtual assistant tool powered by Azure OpenAI, and it is trained specifically for e-commerce use cases and fully integrated into Intershop via API. So we will see some use cases today showcasing support for sales and service, for e-commerce managers themselves, and for buyers. All right, so let's jump right into some use cases here. Here we're seeing our Merchant Copilot. This is Gen AI specifically for product management. Everyone's having data quality issues these days. Maybe they don't have enough of it, maybe they have too much of it, and it hasn't been refined or cleaned. Here we have a direct integration into the back end of Intershop, and you can see in the short clip here where we are giving it a prompt directly within the application and receiving some enriched product details for the product specifically we're looking at. We also have a storefront view on the left-hand bottom side, where you as a marketer could actually view the storefront as your customer, so you get a better idea of their experience, and then can interactively converse with the Copilot to enhance maybe the attributes, images, product descriptions, etc. Next is another use case for Merchant Copilot. Let me see. So this one specifically highlights demand-based pricing and promotions. So you can see where we have prompts that the user is inputting into Copilot to pull up reporting, highlight the top selling products, and then actually go in and modify the pricing or a promotion on that product to reflect the demand that currently exists with it. Okay. The next slide here is specific to Spark, and this one specifically, sorry, I'm moving some things around, is all about product discovery. So as I said, Spark is our product discovery, personalization, and recommendation engine. And here we are highlighting how we can personalize the product recommendations within a storefront specifically to that user and leverage behavior-based customer impressions in real time. So we have an item in our cart here, this mouse, and we're seeing the recommendations for other products based off of the cart on the storefront. We can also leverage, there's so many different ways that you can drive recommendations, but I've got a few examples here of frequently bought by others and similar products too. Next is an example of how we are improving the experience with Spark again through personalized navigation and faceting. So specifically in this example, we're prioritizing the customer on the storefront's preferred brands. So we have again an item, this Fujitsu keyboard in the cart in the upper hand corner. And when the customer does a search for tablets, then they're getting Fujitsu tablets first based off of the brand in the cart, followed by maybe some boosting of search results based off of their historical order history. In this case, they are a big fan of HP products. And then maybe lastly, we are layering the logic for the search results to show general popularity next. This is also being showcased within the dynamic faceting on this use case as well, which is extremely impactful for your team as it can take into consideration all of the attributes that are present within the data set, maybe determine that 70% of them are relevant to all of the products, and then automatically assign the faceting from there. The next example is just a quick use case that we found. Oftentimes these days, I think a lot of our customers are struggling with search relevancy. And so this one highlights a use case where we integrated directly with ChatGPT to query our product data and utilizing the search term in this case. So we have maybe the customer is searching for PC and they only got 39 items. The call goes out to ChatGPT to search for synonyms that are present that maybe match our PC. In this case, it's giving notebook. And then you can see that we're getting much more relevant search results and much more results as well. Okay. So now some practical examples from the, well, I guess they're all practical, but real world examples. This is a great story from one of our wonderful customers, MS Shippers. They're an international wholesaler that supplies everything needed for keeping livestock. They chose Spark specifically, my understanding is because it uniquely enabled them to create new recommendation strategies based on their human expertise rather than relying solely on the data to drive all of the AI recommendations. Their goal was to really ensure that their customers do not forget anything on that order. This is a really big deal for their customers because every time a delivery is received to the farmers, there's a lot of hygiene hoops that they have to jump through, like showering and cleaning and cleansing. So if their customers forget to place an order for something and they have to have multiple orders, it can be extremely painful for them. So here's some use cases where they're injecting recommendations within the cart process. So once the customer adds something to cart, they get some recommendations immediately based off of that, maybe frequently purchased products with that. And then also on the right-hand side, we see some browsing and navigation boosting of white label products and some smart recommendations of repeat purchase items as well. Oh, one last thing on this, I think it's really cool. They also leverage seasonal data to determine the frequency of products and the need for products to drive those recommendations as well. So obviously there's different products that are being purchased within the yearly time span for farming. Next up is another great example of Beaumont. I like to talk to this one about how Beaumont's really started with product recommendations, and they saw such great results that they then scaled up to utilize search, use search, personalization, and email as well. So here you can see again a relevancy example where we see some auto suggest examples based off category of product to improve the relevancy, and then some product recommendations that are on the cart checkout page.
Okay, JD, we're kind of running out of time, and I guess I don't know how much more examples you have, but maybe you can well, kind of wrap up on that.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just fly through these quickly. So again, the Copilot's directly integrated with Intershop here. Customer is just querying to look for their RMA request, and the Copilot is pulling the document up, summarizing it, and giving them everything they need. This is extremely helpful for reducing the lift on your team. Here we have another example of assisted buying based off of prior orders. And lastly, a servicing schedule. So I just want to point out that AI has unprecedented adoption, and it's really important that you start getting on board. I think everyone has highlighted that today. Obviously, there are significant hurdles that exist out there. You guys can check out the deck here and analyze those. But I would encourage you to maybe utilize this framework where you can maybe understand the impact of what you want to focus on first, the confidence that you can implement that, and then the ease of doing so. So with that, thank you, everybody. I hope that Intershop can help you on this journey.
Thank you, JD. Sorry for rushing you, but there's so many examples, and maybe that's also interesting to. What do you advise Intershop customers to do to connect with Intershop to, well, actually take advantage of all the knowledge you already have in these use cases? What would be the best suggestion for the audience here today?
Well, I placed my email here. Please feel free to reach out to me or anyone on our team directly, just to set up what I usually recommend, just a quick discovery discussion to really hear out all the pain and problems or maybe your vision and goals that you want to reach, and then really go through a workshopping phase to be able to identify what's the low-hanging fruit and how we may be able to assist in that. We're very consultative. I'm very passionate about what I do. It's not all about making the sale. It's truly just improving and making contributing to this great big industry and world that we are a part of, and I love it.
Okay, great. And for anybody on the call, if you have any questions or want to know something, you can always go to the front runners environment, or just reach out to any of us directly, and we'll get your questions answers. Just like JD said, maybe not to make the sale, because I'm not even from the sales, but to talk about this magnificent topic and the fascinating developments. Kanya, some last words.
Yep. Well, as you can see, AI can be used today at any steps within your customer journey without major disruption within your organization. You can start by reviewing, identifying where the customers are dropping off, or even the pain points within your internal process. And that's exactly what Raja and Worth have done. Raja identified that translation is the process that they'd like to optimize, because they have to translate over 1 million SKUs in 18 different languages. And Worth, having to manage 43 websites across 37 countries, they've elicited help from AI for personalization and to create bundling. In the beginning, there were steep learning curves, like people needs to be reskilled, retrained, upskilled in prompt engineering, etc. But after persevering, both showed like improvement, massive improvement. And JD has also demonstrated certain AI technology that are built into like an e-commerce platform like Intershop. So that's another way that you can go about implementing AI for your business.
Yes. Yep. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned a lot from our speakers, and especially because they have their foot on the ground and are really working with actual use cases, with actual situations, with doing all this experience by doing. And Michael stated that, and it's also what Jill experienced. By starting to work on it, you start learning and you start discovering that it's not this big monster, but it is actually handsome parts where you can learn and what you can gradually move and evolve, tapping into this bright future that it offers, because we're only very much at the beginning. But that technology does not have to keep you back. And this session is all about how can you show, with all these initiatives, how can you show value to your organization? As said, in the Frontrunners program, we support you with this this roadmap to this discovery. And we're going to do a next session on June the 4th. And then it is about experiments to boost your horizon and to validate your and build your ambition. And given the time, just the last words for you, Kanya.
Well, no last words. We hope to see you in the June 4th session, and I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.